If I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem, and 5 minutes thinking about solutions. Information is not knowledge. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, he who doesn't pays it. Three great forces rule the world: stupidity, fear, and greed. The only source of knowledge is experience. Everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Excellence is doing a common thing in an uncommon way. Be a loner that gives you time to wonder, to search for the truth. Have holy curiosity, make your life worth living. Not everything that counts can be counted, and not everything that can be counted counts. If you want your children to be intelligent, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be more intelligent, read them more fairy tales. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Never memorize something that you can look up. I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious. Try not to become a man of success. Rather become a man of value. You never fail until you stop trying. The measure of intelligence is the ability to change. The best way to cheer yourself is to cheer somebody else up. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. We all know that light travels faster than sound. That's why certain people appear bright until you hear them speak. Genius is 1% talent and 99% hard work. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Only those who attempted the absurd can achieve the impossible. One thing I have learned in a long life, that all our science, measured against reality, is primitive and childlike. And yet it is the most precious thing we have. The more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know. If people are good only because they fear punishment and hope for reward, then we are a sorry lot indeed. You cannot simultaneously prevent and prepare for war. Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18. If at first the idea is not absurd, then there is no hope for it. Life is a preparation for the future, and the best preparation for the future is to live as if there were none. When I examine myself and my methods of thought, I come to the conclusion that the gift of fantasy has meant more to me than any talent for abstract, positive thinking. The only real valuable thing is intuition. The tragedy of life is what dies inside a man while he lives. A person starts to live when he can live outside himself. The only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. Possessions, outward success, publicity, luxury. To me, these have always been contemptible. I believe that a simple and unassuming manner of life is best for everyone, best for both the body and the mind. We know from daily life that we exist for other people. First of all, for whose smiles and well-being our own happiness depends. The ideals which have always shone before me and filled me with joy or goodness, beauty and truth. If I were to remain silent, I'd be guilty of complicity. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. I never teach my pupils. I only attempt to provide the conditions in which they can learn. You have to learn the rules of the game, and then you have to play better than anyone else. It is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. Play is the highest form of research. A man should look for what is, and not for what he thinks it should be. Student is not a container you have to fill, but a torch you have to light up. The only sure way to avoid making mistakes is to have no new ideas. The true value of a human being can be found in the degree to which he has attained liberation from the self. Past is dead. Future is uncertain. Present is all you have. So eat, drink, and live merry. At least once a day allow yourself the freedom to think and to dream for yourself. Solitude is painful when one is young, but delightful when one is more mature. No amount of experimentation can ever prove me right. A single experiment can prove me wrong. Never do anything against conscience, even if the state demands it. Small is the number of them that see with their own eyes and feel with their own hearts. As our circle of knowledge expands, so does the circumference of darkness surrounding it. Older men start wars, but younger men fight them. Always do what's right. This will gratify some and astonish the rest. Do not grow old, no matter how long you live. Never cease to stand like curious children before the great mystery into which we were born. Truth is what stands the test of experience. Adversity introduces a man to himself. It is no accident that capitalism has brought with it progress not merely in production, but also in knowledge. Egoism and competition are, alas, stronger forces than public spirit and sense of duty. Men should continue to fight, but they should fight for things worthwhile, not for imaginary geographical lines, racial prejudices, and private greed draped in the colors of patriotism. Their arms should be weapons of the spirit, not shrapnel and tanks. Two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. Logic will get you from A to Z. Imagination will get you everywhere. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. I speak to everyone in the same way, whether he is the garbage man or the president of the university. When you are courting a nice girl, an hour seems like a second. When you sit on a red-hot cinder, a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. A clever person solves a problem. A wise person avoids it. Any fool can know. The point is to understand. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. The world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. It is not that I'm so smart, but I stay with the questions much longer. Creativity is intelligence having fun. The world is a dangerous place to live, not because of the people who are evil, but because of the people who don't do anything about it. If A is a success in life, then A equals X plus Y plus Z. Work is X, Y is play, and Z is keeping your mouth shut. Everything must be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters. What is right is not always popular, and what is popular is not always right. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. We dance for laughter, we dance for tears. We dance for madness, we dance for fears. We dance for hopes, we dance for screams. We are the dancers, we create the dreams. The woman who follows the crowd will usually go no further than the crowd. The woman who walks alone is likely to find herself in places no one has ever been before. I must be willing to give up what I am in order to become what I will be. Blind belief in authority is the greatest enemy of truth. I never made one of my discoveries through the process of rational thinking. Once we accept our limits, we go beyond them. Nothing happens until something moves. I'd rather be an optimist and a fool than a pessimist and right. Out of clutter find simplicity. Our task must be to free ourselves by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature and its beauty. Wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. Few are those who see with their own eyes and feel with their own hearts. The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is at all comprehensible. You can never solve a problem on a level on which it was created. The only thing that you absolutely have to know is the location of the library. Reading after a certain age diverts the mind too much from its creative pursuits. Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. A true genius admits that he/she knows nothing.